And so we're going to continue talking about the excitement, and we're going to do a workshop preview. And to help me do that, I actually have Kaye Lynch-Sparks, who's going to come up, and she's going to be joined by Mike Zatz and John Beckman. And so what we're going to talk about in the preview of the workshop is the benefits for dealers who have achieved ENERGY STAR certification. So again, let's give them a round of applause and welcome them up. You're welcome.
Now I can hear. Now I can hear myself. My name is Mike Zatz. I'm from the federal government, and I'm here to help. Usually gets it pretty good. A little bit slow, a little slow. Now, I'm with the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. I'm one of those guys, I heard the previous speakers talking about how we come in and tell you how to run your dealerships, but we have a good thing to talk to you about today, something that's really going to help you out. And I'm very happy to be here today, thanks to Kaye and John and all of NADA for your partnership over the years and for allowing us to be here with a very exciting announcement to open up the 2024 show. It's been a very long road for us to get here today, but thanks to the persistence of NADA, we have arrived at a very auspicious day for us. Many of you probably know the ENERGY STAR as the little blue logo. Over 90% of Americans know it and recognize it and value it, but you probably are familiar with it on appliances and electronics. What you may not know is that we also put the ENERGY STAR onto commercial buildings. In fact, we have over 43,000 commercial buildings across the United States that have earned the ENERGY STAR certification. That includes more than 10,000 offices, more than 10,000 schools, more than 5,000 retail stores, plus hospitals and hotels and houses of worship and others. And what does that mean? Well, the ENERGY STAR on an appliance, it means that's among the most energy efficient of that type of appliance on the market. And on a commercial building, it means the same thing. That's among the most energy efficient of that type of building that's across the United States. So today, thanks to the partnership with NADA, we're here to announce that we now have, to add to that 43,000 plus ENERGY STAR certified buildings, our first 7 ENERGY STAR certified vehicle dealerships. Yeah, that's worth some applause. And we hope to add to that number. The dealerships earn the certification through improving their energy efficiency through technologies and operations and maintenance. And then they use our free ENERGY STAR Portfolio Manager software tool. It's a free online tool that lets you assess your performance. That'll give you an ENERGY STAR score. It's a 1 to 100 scale. The higher you score, the better you are. And if you score 75 or higher, you qualify for ENERGY STAR. And that means you're in the top 25% of dealerships in terms of your energy performance. So with that all as background, I'm here to really announce those initial 7 ENERGY STAR certified dealerships. So I'm going to go ahead and read them off to you. First, we have Brandfin Honda in Brantford, Connecticut. We have Coggin Honda of Orlando in Orlando, Florida. We have Marin Acura in Corte Madera, California. We have Thayer Honda in Bowling Green, Ohio. And then we have 3 dealerships which are owned by Lithia Driveway. And we're joined here by Peter Hogeveen, their Senior Director of Marketing. And so I'm pleased to recognize those 3 as well. That is Acura of Sherman Oaks in Sherman Oaks, California, DCH Tustin Acura in Tustin, California, and Island Honda in Kahului, Hawaii. So I have certificates here for each of those. Peter, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
With that, I'll turn it over to John.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Let's try that again. Good morning, everybody. All right, that's a little better. We're in Vegas. Let's get going here. All right, well, first of all, I'm John Beckman. I'm COO for NADA, and I wanted to officially welcome Mike and the EPA to NADA Show 2024. I think the last time you said you were here was 2007, so welcome. Glad to have you here. NADA and the EPA have been partners since 2007 with one single goal in mind, and that was to promote energy efficiency across our industry. We had a huge breakthrough last year. Mike had just mentioned it as far as the ENERGY STAR score for dealerships. It's using a rating or a scale from 1 to 100. And it was a big deal, a huge milestone for us. And what that did is it presented a first opportunity for dealerships to earn their Energy Star certification. So big breakthrough, that was late last year, big breakthrough for us. We're super excited about it. And then we, Kaye will maybe write this down here because she said I was going to screw it up. So, but I really want to emphasize why this is a big deal. And Energy Star helps dealerships determine the most cost-effective approach to managing their energy, enabling dealerships to save energy and money, as well as demonstrate dealers' commitment to sustainability. This project in partnership promotes goodwill with the EPA while showcasing dealers' contribution to a sustainable future in their local communities. I want to extend my deep gratitude to Mike and the EPA for the partnership we've had. It's been successful since 2007. We're hoping to continue it. And I also want to extend congratulations to Peter and the rest of the dealers for hitting this key certification. Well done. Remember, keep taking those light switches down and keep that thermostat at 68. Well, I'm going to turn the floor over to Kaye, and Kaye is going to talk about a little bit more about what we're doing.
Thanks so much, John, and thank you to the EPA and Peter for being here. I just want to give a little bit of a preview of a workshop that we're going to have this afternoon, which is at 4 o'clock in W220, and where we're really going to do a deep dive with Mike and Altura, which is a green dealership contractor, to talk more about the Energy Star, the Energy Star certification, the importance of it, and the tools that you can use to earn it. But first, I want to get a few questions from and answers from Mike and Peter. And so first one's to you, Peter. Why was it important for you and the Lithia dealership locations to pursue the Energy Star score?
Thank you, Kaye. Thank you all for having me, first of all. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's very interesting for us and important for us because being the size as Lithia is, right, it's important to also set an example, right, to the industry and how we can be effective and efficient. But having said all that, it's quite simple too. There's also obviously a business benefit for us as well, right? If you put it in perspective, about 40% of our energy cost is electric, or our energy use is electric. 65% of our cost, right, is electric as well. So it's important for us to get ready because we all know what's going to happen in the near future. The more and more electric vehicles will be on the road, we're going to have more and more demand for it as well. The cool part with Lithia is, and I want to kind of touch on that as well, obviously I'm here, representing Lithia from a marketing perspective, but we give our stores, the personal ownership, right? So we let them be, if they want to pursue this, we let them do it. And what we also do, it's very interesting, we have monthly scorecards for our stores, we track the sales and the service, we all have them for our stores, but we actually put this EPA's, this Energy Star rating on that report as well. So we really want to drive for our stores to really focus on that as part of doing business and simply just doing the right thing.
That's amazing, and thank you so much for setting an example. Mike, I want you to talk a little bit about how the score is calculated, because it can be a little bit technical and it's amorphous for some people to understand.
It is highly technical, so I'm going to give about the 30-second explanation. Unless anybody here knows how to do statistical analysis, I'll try to give you the lay version. Essentially what we do is we take the results of a survey, data that's collected of similar buildings across the country. So in this case, NADA did a survey for us, and they collected data from hundreds of dealerships about how much energy they use and also the operating characteristics of those facilities. How many hours they're open, how many workers they have, how many cars they have in inventory, other things that might be related to the amount of energy that dealership might use. We then have a team of analysts who run statistical models on that, and they essentially come up with an equation. If you really want to see it, come to the session this afternoon, and I'll show it to you on the screen. But essentially what it does is we figure out the things, the operational characteristics of a dealership that helps us to predict the amount of energy that dealership should use. And then we use that as a comparison to other dealerships across the country. So really all you have to do to get the score is put into our tool some data about the amount of energy you use and a couple of pieces of data about your dealership and your operations, and that's it. It's quite simple.
Thanks, Mike. Peter, you touched on this before, and that is the transition to electric. And I know we'll all see this throughout the NADA show. You'll hear it on some of our programming and workshops, and you'll see it on the show floor. Did the transition impact Lithia's decision regarding facility energy use, and why?
So obviously, like I said, right, it's the right thing to do for us as well. As you really think about a car dealership, right, we're probably one of the largest employers in communities, right? So it's very important for us to do the right thing and just be effective what we do. As I mentioned earlier, let's say we go to this full electric transition at one point, right? I think we sold just over 1 million last year, right? So we're getting there slowly. We're all going to be using more energy. We're going to use more electricity. So we're actually utilizing this to find savings in the stores we have today to be able to offset some of that incremental cost that will be coming when we go to full electrification or chargers at dealerships.
Fantastic. So Mike, one of the number one questions that we get as we've been rolling out this score to dealerships is, okay, you're tracking my facility energy use. I'm going to have this huge energy draw as soon as I install these chargers on my lot. How is the Energy Star certification going to factor in these new chargers on my lots?
Well, the good news about that is we won't. So our score and our certification is about how you operate the building. So we actually don't want to count the energy that you use to charge electric vehicles. That's not related to your operation of the building. It's just a part of the business that's coming. So as you sell more electric vehicles, as you put more electric vehicle charging into your facilities, you won't be penalized at all for that. We essentially tell you when you enter your data into our tool, just take that out. Don't include it at all. And then that way we're evaluating how you run the building itself, not how many vehicles you're charging and things like that. So no penalty.
Okay, fantastic.
Go ahead and sell the EVs.
Yeah, it helps, right? Any little bit. So last question, and that is, I'll pitch it to you, Peter, and then to Mike, which is, what do you see as the main benefit for earning the Energy Star certification for dealerships?
So for us, it's another item we can track, right? Not a scorecard, which actually helps our bottom line, right? So at the end of the day, it's doing the right thing for the communities. It's doing the right thing, being more responsible with our energy, but also help our bottom line at the end of the day to be more efficient. Also, what we do internally, I should have talked about it maybe earlier, we actually help our stores. Our stores are, if you know Lithia organization, our stores are pretty well independently run by the general managers, but we provide them with all the tools. And it's actually quite simple. Like, and Mike can attest to that, right? Like, we just joked in the back, like, turn your thermostat to 68, right? Little things we can do have a huge impact. So for us, it's really important. We're going to work with our stores really close. And like I said earlier too, we track it for all our stores. So it's, and as you know, car dealers are very competitive. So we'll see probably see a lot more next year on the list here.
Yeah, and I would say two things primarily. First is cost savings. This is basically just a way that you're going to reduce your operating costs. You'd rather save the money than pay it to the utility. So that's first and foremost. That's what Energy Star is about, without sacrificing comfort or the production or the productivity of your building. But the other thing is, going back to something I mentioned earlier, is that everybody recognizes that blue logo. Over 90% of Americans recognize it and say that they value it and it means something to them. So buying an Energy Star on a dealership is not going to be the primary reason why somebody buys that particular car or comes to that dealership, but it might factor in. And more, especially the younger generation, especially as people are looking more at EVs and things of that nature, seeing the Energy Star is just going to give people a very good impression of your dealership. And so when they're comparing your dealership against another dealership and deciding where to buy that vehicle from, other things being relatively equal, that something's going to stick in their mind, and they're going to say, hey, that dealership is doing something good, because they just know that that's something that's good for human health, good for the environment, and it's good for your bottom line.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. I just want to say, again, we have our workshop that does a deep dive into the score today at 4 o'clock, W220. We also will continue to work with EPA to create webinars and content to help dealers achieve energy certification, and we're excited to move forward and get more dealers certified in the coming months. So thank you very much.